Thank you, guys. Thanks for joining in. My name is Shakir Majeed Khan, and today I will be discussing development with Fusion teams. Um, so, about me, a bit about myself. So, my name is, as I mentioned, my name is Shakir Majeed Khan, and the shorter version is SMK. I am a senior consultant. I'm a Microsoft most valuable professional in business application, and I'm MCT for like 5 to 6 plus years now. And have my own YouTube channel, which is SMK Geek Speak, and you can tweet me at meet SMK. Yeah, and I got my one website as shakimaji.com, so you can go over there and visit my blogs. And I'm also conducting this Tech Day Pass Pakistan along with the team Adnan, Amin, and Ms. Baudin. So we are really thankful and really thankful that you have joined in and take your time out and speaking and listening to our session. All right. So now let's talk about how to develop Fusion developer scaling. So we have like the multiple sources within the Microsoft space. So we have Microsoft Learning Path. So you can go into Microsoft Learning Path and look into the Fusion development, and you will see like there's a whole um, training like the learning path available, and we have this ebook future development approach to build as by using power apps, so you can use that you can use look into this one, which is quite good. So our goal in this meeting would be like to introduce a fusion development team, and then we will see how we upskill the professional developer in low code approaches, and then we can demonstrate that uh, a web API will be connecting through Azure API management, and then it's coming into the Power Apps. So it's all linked together, and how it's like looking into how it works uh, in a more constructive way. Okay, so now let's talk about the Fusion team development. So we know that we have within our organization, mostly in our organization, we have IT team, so one of the guy or the team who looks into the IT, who develops some application, like someone is managing some API, someone is managing a classic legal legacy based system, and one is a guy or a woman or a lady administrating the IT system, and then we have citizen dev. So this term is pretty new, and even myself find myself like in order to understand, in order to put in the people in that bracket, that a citizen team is a team like who are kind of a non-IT guy, but they know how to build the application. So just put it in this way, that someone is there in your finance team, and he is pretty good in maintaining the Excel application, and then yours, and then if you are here like if and now if he's trying to and learn a bit about the Power Apps. So he comes to know that there is a Power Apps application, and the Power Apps application works with the no code environments, and then he just tried to look into some of the application, some of the tutorial, and then he understand, okay, yeah, I can do that. So all those guys who are there within the organization, who know some understand the logic and understand that how this Excel work and other stuff works. So now they are the part of the citizen dev. So they are now uh, maintaining their own power apps at their end. So it could be inventory, it could be an application maintaining the inventory, looking into the schedules, or even the building an application with their own business requirement. So the citizen dev, as I mentioned, the citizen dev are not the non-IT people, but they are working on the Power Apps to build the application. So in order to bring the both team all together into one team, so we call them as a fusion team. So how this the team process, how the process works, that everyone within this citizen dev, everyone contributes. So somewhere one business requirement comes up that okay, we require this business application. The citizen devs sit together and then think that okay, and we have the power apps, and then we can build that application as per our requirement. So now this might be some stages come that they need to access some data which is present somewhere outside the organization or within the organization, but they don't have the authority or access to access that data. So just excuse, give me a second. So in order to do that, they involve the they involve this IT pro devs team and ask them, okay, we want to access the data which is there in the SQL, and how can we access the data to Powerapps? So the team, the IT pros team, they will create an web API or some interface so that the Fusion team and the citizen teams can access the data and bring that data into that application. So the whole process is bring two teams together and call it as a Fusion team. So we have 5 learning modules within this learning path. So first one is transform business software authoring with Fusion development team. This is kind of introductory module. The other one is the understanding low code as a traditional developer, and then the third one is building a Powerapps component. The fourth one is integrated open API enabled web API with Azure API management through Visual Studio, and then the last one is discover and use web API with Powerapps. Now let's talk some more about the how we are building up this Fusion development teams and how this transform the whole business software authoring within the organization. So we are talking about the organization, a mid-level, mid to big level organization. We are where we have a separate IT team and the people are looking after their own departments issues or the business requirements. So they have like the so they have the good number of people working for them. So we have, let me just check one thing. Give me a second. I think I am audible. Yeah, all right, yeah. I'm just checking it. All right, okay, so let's resume. So what is the tech intensity? If we talk about our organization trust, so we have like within the organization we have three things: technology adoption, individual capability, and then the organization. So these three are the three dimension of the tech intensity. So like the organization should have the trust on the application itself, that the application can build an app without wasting or without reserving the so many resources on that application on that requirement. So another thing, we have the technology adoption. So as we are speaking, that Fusion teams or the citizen devs are not the typical IT devs. So they are working in different domain, but they know that how to build the Power Apps or the Power Automates to work on their business requirement. And then we have a individual capability. So the individual capability comes up that someone is working in a finance department and he does have some times to spend on that application, and then there's a capability, and then how you understand the application itself, how do you understand the tool that the tool itself will do this sort of activity. So again, if we combine these three together, so we So the whole idea of this business fusion development teams comes up, and then it will allow it will allow everyone to work in their capacity and to build the application together. So yeah, so now let's talk about the a general a more elaborated example. So we have folks from across the organization get together to solve a business challenge. So a team sit together and then they say, okay, this is a requirement. We know we want some PowerApps application which is available on the web or on the mobile as well. So so they can go into the field and then they can access the data right onto your phone or onto your mobile. Or onto the mobile or onto their tab. So this is the scenario, and then the pretty and then based on the discussion, business folks become citizen devs. So business folks know that okay, we have built the Power App before. We know that how does it work. So the business folk becomes the citizen dev jokes. So they can take the responsibility of creating the Power App application. Now, the in some of the documents, some of the situation, we need to access the data. So in order to access the data, which the citizen devs don't have the access or doesn't have the capability to build some kind of interface to gather the data and show it onto the Power Apps. So they will ask the IT pros devs to provide the data, provide some kind of interface. So in this case, the IT pros will say that okay, we can provide you an API, and then you can access the API within your Power App. So how does it work? The API, so they will create an API, and then the API will come as a custom connector, and it will then be available within our Power Apps. So and then the team itself, the whole team as a fusion development team will sit together, and then they will look into the different organizational and different, like they will track together that how our Power application coming along, how is our IT devs building the API, and at what time we need to interact together to consume the data from the power from the web API which the IT devs team has built. So now let's talk about the low code as a traditional developer. So consider that I'm a ASP.NET developer to start my the whole career, and then when we are talking about the code developer, and then here as a traditional developer, and it's coming into this low code environment. So he needs to understand that what is there within the platform. So if we are talking about the Power Platform, Power App, so we don't require to build any um, kind of text boxes or something else. So most of the thing, or almost everything which is there, everything it's there in our platform. So we need to understand that we need to, like as a traditional developer, we don't need to build everything from the ground up. So we have everything, almost everything in place. So we just need to work on the logic, and based on our logic, we just need to put the logic inside the Power Apps, and then create those screens, and then once we are happy with it, so we can then publish the application. So it's quite simple. And then the third thing is the introducing Power FX. So Power FX is a as a Power FX is a programming language for the Power, and the Power, just put it this way, that is a kind of a programming language which works on the Power Apps, and it's quite similar to what we used to have in the Excel when you are creating any formula or working on the power on the Excel. So that's the logic which you use in the Excel is almost the same as you're using in the Power FX. Now, as you can see on your screen, that I have different one example, as in my formula bar, PowerFX formula bar, I have one example, which is like I'm pulling some data from an API, and then if you see the where it's mentioned that JavaScript equivalent require explicit. So now, so you as you can see, like I can call a remote local and remote variable. I can have the relationship data. I can do the projection, and I can retrieve only what is needed. So if you and know that what runs only when it is needed, and then it has the Excel syntax as well, and then we have a display name and localization, and it works with the asynchronous and the lambda expression. So just to present that all this thing, all the thing which works within the PowerFX, it quite normal. As we are using in our different technology or even in the JavaScript. So what we are doing in the JavaScript is almost the same we are doing in the PowerFX, but the whole layout or how we are working is quite similar. So like if we are gathering some data which is coming from the remote, and we are matching with our local repository, roll out the local, so we can match it as well. We know that when it needs to run and what it needs to bring, and then we can do the localization and display name as well. So all this stuff which is present in the PowerFX, and in the PowerFX is quite strong and quite responsive as well. So I find it very easy to work on, and it's quite good. No, not no. We won't be touching this on the PowerApps components, but we can create a PowerApps component by using like the custom PowerApps component, and then you can deploy the package and test it and put it into your PowerApps. It's quite short, it's quite simple as well, but just to bear in mind that we have a short duration for this session, so I would just skip it. No, this part is for the IT pros and devs. So consider, so as I mentioned that we need to bring some data which is there somewhere on the SQL or somewhere. So we need to as a citizen devs, I need to engage IT pros or the IT people within my organization and asking that, okay, I have seen this data in our SharePoint or in our another application. I just need to bring that data within our Power App. So the IT teams will go and just and then they will consult together and then say, yeah, where the data is coming from the SQL. So how you want to bring it? So we just say, yeah, we can, as a citizen, say we would say like you can create a custom connector, and then we can bring the data through the custom connector, and then say, okay, we can do that. We can provide a web API and put it into the custom connector. So this whole integrate the API enabled with web APIs, and so it goes with the IT pros and IT devs. So they will build this up, and then they will provide this API to as a citizen to the citizen devs. Now, what we will do that we will see like how to like how we build our application through the Power Apps, and then how we will bring the data from the web API to our Power Apps. So what I will do, I will share my another screen with you. So let me just pause. Let me just. Right, okay, let me just unshare and I'll reshare my screen, another screen. Perhaps, and yep, and just give me a second. And yeah, so yep. All right, so you can see my screen. So what we will do that we'll just build a screen from our Excel file. So I'll just so what I will do that I will go directly into one. I've got one Excel file, so I build my application through that Excel file, and I try to show that okay, we have one Excel file as an inventory, so we will create an inventory file, inventory application, and once the inventory application will be working, so I will then create another screen and try to bring the data into our inventory application. So then we click on the Excel file, and then I'll just say SharePoint, and we just say we have one file. Yep. So I'll just choose this one, choose file, and then I'll select this table flooring estimates. Yeah, so what it will do that it will grab that Excel and then create the whole application without doing anything. So the cool part is that I don't require to do anything, and it's just already there, and then it just create the whole application for me. So if you see, I haven't done anything, and it's and it's just bring up this data for me. All right. So let me just my voice here. All right. Okay. So you can watch it. Yeah. All right. Okay. So as you can see, like I have this application, my uh, the Excel file created this like the Powerapps created this application. So if I can show you, so how easy it is that based on that Excel, I just created this the whole application, and it's just showing all the details and the overview, name and inventory, and then the image as well. So which is quite good. Like I can create a new one, new inventory, new item in my inventory. I can edit the inventory as well. I just put it. It's numbers. So yeah, can save it and then just goes back into my Excel sheet. So it's populate the Excel sheet. So if you see, like it's not just saving it on the application itself. Application is saving into my Excel file. So let me get back to my application development mode. So let me just see. Uh, Let me close this thing. And as you can see on the left hand side, we have different screens available. So we have this screens, and then what the one Power Effects I was talking about. So this is the Power Effects, the whole language history, as you can see. So we have the sort by column search, and it's quite similar to what we used to do on the Power on our Excel file. So now what we will do that I will try to add another screen. Let me just insert another screen. So I'll just put it as a blank screen. And what I will do that I will click in. Will use the connector. Let me add this connector and see. And let me just put the data table here and yep. And so what I will do that let me just show you. All right. Okay. So what I will do, I've already just to save over time because I've short duration. So I built an application as a pre-demo application. So I'll just put it here and then I'll show you. So all these fields, all this data is coming from our web API. So the listing of the set is coming from our web API. So and I will show you the web API as well. Let me just goes into the web API and show you. So let me just goes into just yeah. Just give me a second. Let me just. I'm unsharing my screen and let me give me 1 minute. Just give me a second and come back to you. So yep, 2 minutes left. Thank you for letting me know.
There's no question so far.
Oh, yeah, I think so. No question. So yeah, I'll just try to show you. Um, yeah, so as you can see, so I have one web API, and then what I'm doing that I'm calling this I'm using this web API, which is available through my API management, and then this API will be coming into my application. So if I go back and reshare my screen and the other screen, so yeah, so the all this location are coming from my web API. So as you can see, like I have different screens coming, like the data, some data is coming from the Excel file, some data is coming from the web API. I'm bringing all those data into one Power Apps without writing a single line of code at my Power Apps. So I can you can come up with different scenario, and based on the scenario you can come up with your like based on your development, based on your scenario you can develop the Power Apps application. So let me share my screen, the presentation screen, and I think we are good to go then. Yep. Yeah. All right. So these are the learning materials. So you can see the learning materials, and I would recommend to go into this learning path and check out the learning path. And thank you from my side. Thank you Adnan for hosting me, and thank you. And I'm looking forward for the new presenter who will be presenting the next session. Thank you.